Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things podcast. It's been a while. I think last time I recorded something, it was in December 2021, and a lot has changed since then. I'm actually now recording this to you from Morocco, and I'm so excited to share with you this new edition that is specifically dedicated to health and well being experts, people that I have met recently, and they are very passionate about what they do. The thing with them is they are ordinary, just like yourself and myself. They have been through a lot and they have decided and made it their mission to help you also make the transformation that you need to let go of what has been holding you back and move past the things that are slowing you down. So stay tuned. These are my guests.
Now we're recording, finally. A dream come true indeed. It's been a while that we have been trying to schedule this call. And today, I think we're delayed 40 minutes or so because of all the technical issues and the car issues.
I know,
So how
I
are you
know.
today?
I'm good. I'm happy. I'm doing all sorts of things I love, and the day is busy. And I'm really happy to be here and sharing finally this moment. Voila.
Me too, I'm super glad. So how does your days usually start?
You want to know? Actually, my
Yes,
day
please.
starts with the image of the dream I had the night before.
Oh, you start working on the dream. Ah, yes, of course. You're gonna start with the. Do you take notes of them?
Not every day. I have developed good memory skills. And I can remember some of them that I've had for like a long time ago, and I still can remember them from time to time. So
Okay.
they're just present.
Super intriguing topic for me since the day we met, and then you told me about your work. Maybe we can start with that actually. How would you describe yourself? Like, I know you through as a psychotherapist, but like, there's so much more that you do. And could you then specify that a little bit?
I'm a psychotherapist in a private practice for the past 11 years now. And it has been the result of a life full of experiences and adventures. What I do and how I would qualify myself is that I am a very curious person, and curiosity has led me to kind of experience and dig deeper into the self and the importance of knowing like yourself and discovering about others. And I think that's really something that I cherish.
When people come to you, they come to you for as a psychotherapist or like a dream elicitator or energy healer, or what do they come for you to you for?
No, they would come for me first as a psychotherapist. This has to do with my private practice, like on one-to-one sessions. And some of them would come straight directly for dreams interpretation and facilitating. I wouldn't say interpretation because this is not a term I think it has had a meaning. I facilitate for people to make their dreams readable. When they come to my private practice and they want to know about themselves through dreams, they know they can have access to some tools I've developed. And that's one of the tools that I use in psychotherapy. But this is the one I'm most passionate about, for sure, with the body
I
language.
see. I see. So very exciting still indeed and intriguing. So I only scratched the surface a little bit with you about the topic when we met the first time, and you told me it was just like one, two, three steps kind of thing, and I immediately get hooked and get curious to know more about it. We haven't had the chance, I haven't had the chance yet to do a proper session with you to explore more deeply my dreams. Actually, last night I did two nightmares, and I haven't had any nightmares in a while. Silly, silly ones, like they don't make any sense, but I would be curious to know what they mean at some point. But what I'm more curious about now here and would like to share with the people that are listening a little bit more about your background, who you are, your journey actually to becoming what you are today. I believe you have done something different before we shared that you were in marketing and advertising, right? Before. So if we can go all the way back to perhaps even early chapters, whatever those chapters you would name them. I mean, teenage
Yeah.
time is a chapter, or childhood is a chapter. What would be the first chapters that you would like to share with us?
I would start in how I started interacting with life and people around me as a kid. At the age of 5, I developed stutter, so that I kept for more than 20 years. I've always felt that somewhere deep inside, that wasn't me. That wasn't totally me. It was something I developed, and that was more like a handicap, and which wasn't very easy to live with. But then when I grew up and went through my teenagers, and I started having a life with social, like more social life with friends and teenagers, I knew I had to work on myself and do something to get that away from my being. And with life and life experiences and, let's say, traumas that I've had, there was this little inner voice that I would listen to actually from time to time that guided me to go consult psychologists at the age of 17. Of course, not saying that to any member of my family. It was taboo.
Like psychologist.
Yeah, access like psychologists. Because back in the days, there was the main belief that only crazy people go to psychiatrists.
I remember those days very well.
So I knew I wasn't, but I knew I had to solve my issues. And then the more I started learning about myself and having someone that could listen to me, and I realized that actually their help was so precious, and it made me access to different parts of myself that I didn't know about. So I kind of fell in love with working on myself and knowing more about the human inner life or lives we have inside of us. At some point around the age of 25, I realized that I actually, through hypnosis, a lot of work, I could see myself in a dream. One day, it was a beautiful dream that I still remember. I saw myself giving a conference in a dream. And when I woke up from that dream, I was like, how can that be possible for someone who stutters to be able to give a conference? And I had so many journalists around, and so many people came to attend that. And I woke up with like a new facet of myself somehow that I was not aware of, and that I almost stopped believing in, because being adult and having that difficulty was kind of challenging. As confident as other people. When you're a kid and when you're a teenager, that also affects you. But even when you're an adult and you work and you have a professional life, it's just not the best situation. So why I'm saying this, because how I started my studies is I was someone who always loved challenges, I think, and I decided to study communications. And I was like, okay, because I know that communications is an important part of life. We need communication for everything. We can't do anything if there was no communication. That's one of the biggest tool that a human species has developed actually through languages. And so I studied communication, international communication at the American University of Paris, and then I minored in psychology and social sciences, because there has always been that love for philosophy, psychology, social sciences. And then I came back to Morocco, and I studied marketing after working 3 years in an advertising company. So I was like, okay, I want to get closer to the consumer, to the person, not just being in the advertising companies and doing ad campaigns and selling stuff. I want to get closer to human being. And meanwhile, all this time, I was doing a lot of therapeutical work on myself. And one day I was with my psychotherapist and I looked at him and I was like, I want to be like you.
You were still seeing a psychotherapist,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
Oh.
actually, I never stopped. I just fell in love with being in a private, on the chair of the person who is being listened to and who someone is caring for and someone is trying to help and heal and like give you the tools to heal or like give you all you need to heal. So, and I felt I was healing from that handicap, from that stuttering. And I was like, okay, now maybe it's time for me to give back. And this is how the intentions rose. And I went back to school for 5 years.
How did you get rid of the stutter? Did you mention that already?
With a lot of inner work, hypnosis, going to traumas, to the source of traumas, to the emotional origin of traumas. And when I linked those two topics, I was like, okay, now the more I revealed myself, like my true self somehow, and the more I healed on a psychological, emotional level, the less I stuttered. And the more I gained confidence, and then I turned that all around.
So then you went to school and then you decided to study psychology. Who were your main influences as a child to start with, actually? Because I think I know who influenced you as a professional, Carl Young.
Yeah, and Carl Roger.
The father of,
Carl's,
yeah.
the cat you saw earlier his name is Carl. So,
Yeah, I saw him walking around. You were saying the word curious, and I think he was curious then
yeah,
also to see what's going on in here.
that's a synchronicity.
Right. Because look, so I would believe that the majority of people, when they have something limiting them, like physical or psychological or something, they would not even try to move past it or like believe there's even another possibility to do something else. Like you had this limitation, like stutter, that will limit you perhaps in communication, yet you still moved past it, believed there's some possibility out there. And that is the part that I'm curious about, how and why and how come you had this, I would say, growth mindset, because growth mindset is when you see a limitation, you see how you can jump over it rather than like a fixed mindset, like, okay, that's what there is. We cannot do anything about it. Maybe in what you're gonna share, there's maybe a lesson for the people who are listening. We all have some sort of limitations here and there. What were your influences? Because I'm thinking maybe it's an influence that you had back then that allowed you to move past it, or a figure, a person, father, mother, somebody who told you you can do it. My father used to tell me, si tu veux, tu peux. He always said that to me, like that stayed with me, that allowed me to move past
Mm,
things. What was yours?
I think now that you're asking me this question, I can relate to something about my parents. My mom was, because she passed away almost 20 years ago now. So my mom was a very strong, free woman for her time. And she was very courageous and open-minded for her time. So she did so many things that seemed impossible for other people. Like she dared a lot. Maybe that's
Mm,
where I can definitely relate to. And today I think I'm still carrying that energy that I have absorbed. And my father was a visionary. Like he came from a very poor family, like background, and he really made something beautiful and big possible for himself and his whole family. And he came from a very poor family to like someone who owns a huge business today. So he's like a real success story and a self-made man. And I think like he left school at the age of 13. He started working at the age of 7, 8 years old. He was he was the eldest of a family of 9. So I think that's for sure must have helped having those examples. I wouldn't talk as much because I would be scared to talk. Then I would shut up and then I would listen to my inner voice. I think I had some souvenirs of like somehow like a whisper. Maybe today I can relate that to the whisper of my soul or my true self, my deep self, that you can do it. Your inner voice can be your intuition that says you are beyond this. You are more than this. Forces from inside, from outside, all coming together, plus my personality that will not stop until I make it, I think has helped.
Okay, it's a combination of all of these. How would you know, or someone know, if the inner voice, it's giving us direction, compass, for example, showing us the way, or, and instead, actually show it's some sort of old negative programming holding us back from doing something that we're supposed to do? How would you differentiate between the two and knowing, okay, that's the voice of direction rather than a fear from like trying to protect us from something?
I think that comes a lot with how much you know yourself and how much as well you have paid attention and observed which part of your body, like from which origin or which part of your body that inner voice speaks, like and therefore differentiate between emotions, thoughts, intuition, which energy is a little bit different because you feel something is happening so fast and in a furtive way, and it's not necessarily related to an emotion, but it's still like something that comes out as to be sort of a vision or like so clear. The way I can recognize an intuition is through how it's happening in my own body, like where it stems from. I don't feel like it's in my mind. And it happens in a sort of more silent way. And throughout the years, I have developed this idea that dreams are where your intuition actually definitely happens, or like is shaped as well.
I see. Okay, quite interesting. I have been myself in a journey to explore intuition and to understand what that means to me. So I have been most of the time making decisions, for example, based on pros and cons, quantity of these qualities, skill sets, and so on. But about, I think it was December 2021, I actually just turned 40 back then. And I was journaling, writing for days, doing a little bit of reflection time about myself, what I like, who I am, which direction I want to go to, and so on. So I've been really doing a lot of work morning and evenings. And between, I was surfing. Actually, I was actually in Imsuan, spending holidays for about 5-6 weeks. She told me, "Give me your birth date, give me your place of birth, and like some details." And I thought, okay, well. Again, astrology or something from that. And then she pulled this whole summary of my 6 weeks of journaling in one app. So everything that I was writing about, it was there, validated, summarized, very well written in an app.
Yeah. Wow.
And one of those things were actually about intuition that I actually also wrote about, that I should listen to it more, that it gave me hints here and there throughout my life, and I ignored a couple of times. And that was telling me, you gotta listen to it more. It's one of your strongest senses, and it's quite important. And since then, so that was January 2022, I have been trying to do that, and also trying to see what it is in my body when I feel something, or when I get like one of those hits showing me the way. The app is
Yes.
called the Human Design.
What you're saying about how like where it comes from, like in your body, is so important, and it only comes with practice. So you have to be able to maybe, think of it as, okay, maybe it's intuition. Only time will tell. But at the same time, you still hold on to it without really blocking anything, because it's like alive somehow, and then it just takes you to a place that's not there yet, or where you're not there actually, And it's only when time and space come together with that idea. And I think that makes it just clear, okay, that was an intuition. I think at the beginning, this is how you start practicing, and then you just feel it. And it's so intimate.
You mentioned something about intuition and its connection with dreams, right? And perhaps we could now then dive in a little bit into the topic of dreams. And would you mind explaining how it works, what it is about, and how do you actually help people?
People achieve through working with their dreams would be to know themselves in a more deeper, complete way, because of all the data that can be found in dreams. Your dreams have the capacity to reflect all the data necessary for you to grow at that time of your life, for example, especially when you start to remembering them, helps you in a way because all the hidden stuff that you're not aware of comes out through the dreams, and it can be hidden material from a few years ago, from your family heritage and conscious heritage. It can be so much information about you. So one dream is like so compact and so energetically charged with symbols and information that it's so powerful, because your dreams are your natural intelligence compared to your artificial intelligence, what the AI can do today. I think dreams have the capacity to also collect so much data about you and about everything around you, and make that into a story, a scene, a short movie for you, and it projects it to you, and then you have to resonate, interact, and see how that actually speaks about something that's important to your growth and to your life. So, and it's very intuitive as well, because it's not irrational. It's so irrational, and that irrationality that we sometimes describe as being weird or silly or absurd is actually a higher form of intelligence. Just because we can't recognize it, we haven't been told that enough. I think we haven't been taught that enough, that we see it as part of the unknown. What we don't know, we kind of push back. But the idea is to help people understand that and make it more simpler for them.
And this is the work of Carl Jung, right? Was he the first one to study this topic?
No, actually, Freud in psychology and psychoanalysis, Freud was the one who named the unconscious. Jung was the one who brought the work of the dreams level up, because he just embraced all the human dimensions, including the spirituality. And then before them, like in shamanism, in like all the tribes, all civilizations, dreams had a very important part in human life. People would wake up in the morning, sit in a circle, and just talk about their dreams they had the night as like messages for them to be able to grow and know themselves better. So what I'm trying here is
it's ancient.
Yes.
Really old.
Yes, of course. Like the place of dreams, I think is. We have some recallings of some first dreams that were painted. Like I don't remember the date exact, but a long time ago, with first men painted their the first dreams. I think it was in Egypt or something. That was before Freud.
So it's backed up by science. Back in the days when I came across this topic of dream explanation and so on, I wasn't so aware of your work, or the work of Carl Jung or Freud, and I thought it could be something like the astrology and not too tangible, right?
Yeah,
and now people that likes astrology will come after me because they believe in astrology strongly. I'm not sure I believe in it 100%, but I think there is something into it. Okay, but so then what kind of topics can it help us with, the work working through or with our dreams? What kind of topics besides, let's say, the personal growth and developing awareness?
It's going to help us with so many topics, actually. There are as many functions, I would say, as there are types of dreams. This is my idea. I'm maybe an extremist, but I've experienced dream work for the past 22 years now. And from what I've studied and from what I've experienced in the workshops, the retreats I do, and all the readings that now exist about this topic, dreams can have as many functions as they exist. The main goal is to help you balance your
Energy or
like
finding balance?
they're here to keep your psychology in a homeostatic state. Or whatever is too much in your body, or like in your mind or in your spirit, is gonna show. It's gonna show in your dreams. It will help you consider the topics you need to look at for you at the moment, for you to grow in a more healthy, balanced way. That correlated to what your inner self is here to do, like what's your purpose, in life somehow. If your life is not fitting your deeper purpose, then dreams will come and show you that they have that role to play. Just like the example I gave you earlier when I said to you, I had dreams where I was giving a conference. So for someone who stutters, okay, that could be a dream where it just comes and compensates and talks about my maybe lack of confidence. But then if you look deeper into it, it was showing me that I was actually beyond that. I was not just the little girl or like adult that was still stuttering. I was also the Ilham that could speak in public, hold conferences, teach today, be psychotherapist. We say that dreams, in this book by Marie-Louise von France, who works with you, he wrote a book called The Way to Dreams. It just says that what dreams show you the way to so many aspects and of your life as well that are not seen yet. And also there's a saying that can be the reflection of your soul. So these are the main big functions: balance,
I see.
psychological balance, and also revealing your true self. To do all these facets that come and show the dreams, that you can actually start seeing yourself as also as having all those parts in you. And we are the sum of all these parts, and this is the whole being,
I see. Super interesting. If, let's say, someone has mental health issues, do we consider chronic stress as a mental health issue?
Yes, I think. I mean, if it's like trouble de l'anxiété, for example.
Or chronic stress, as in often being stressed, like when he wakes up in the morning, he feels stressed, or this is a little bit anxiety because he is thinking about projection in the future, what can happen or might not happen. About stress, as in the something you experience in the present moment, often, all the time, and you're not necessarily knowing how to handle it. Can the work through with dreams can help that person perceive stress in a different way, handle stress in a different way, and maybe even be resilient to it? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Because sometimes when we work with dreams, there's this time of the work where you can actually ask your dreams or you ask your unconscious to show you the like l'angle mort, what you're not seeing.
Blind spot, that angle. Yeah.
Yes, that angle and blind spots. So what you're not seeing, and maybe like connecting that to a trauma or something that was like so hidden until now. 95% of the data you need is in your unconscious, and dreams can do that for you. They can go and retrieve that.
Yeah, I see. Okay. And so that's very interesting indeed. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so if you're dealing with constant stress and you don't know where it comes from, and you do all kinds of breathing exercise and like workouts, but then when you sit with yourself and you still have that, or like when you sleep at night and you wake up in the middle of the night stressed, you know, with like an anxiety attack or whatever, then dreams can really help you retrieve the information that can point to the
help.
blind.
That is why actually we're bringing you into these events, and Stress Management Day happening on the 17th of February 2024 as one of the modalities that participants will benefit from, because I firmly believe tackling an issue or challenge or even an ambition from different angles is a very effective way to make change happen. So you mentioned breath work, you mentioned moving and exercising. Those are all effective, let's say, solutions, but not sufficient, I would say. They need to be combined. They should be combined with other topics. And sometimes they are sufficient by themselves, but it's not necessarily for everyone. So one person will be finding a lot of potency and potential in the work you do, for example, and some other person will relate more to the meditations or the movements and so on. So the combination can be extremely powerful, in my opinion. People can choose which modality fits them best. I'm looking forward to actually joining the participants in that one in your session. Yes, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna completely surrender to what you're gonna offer. It's exciting.
We should learn to obey to dreams and to the dream world, and I think it's very wise
Is that
attitude.
your quote? This is your
Yes,
quote?
it's my quote.
We're gonna put it on Instagram or somewhere on on the comment section of or the caption section of this recording. It's a good
Yes,
one.
it's a sort of surrender, because you have a full trust that your unconscious knows better, and with the higher unconscious somehow, with the bigger, like the collective unconscious and the individual, that there is like a higher form of intelligence there, and knowing, starting that dialogue has become your best friend, your best therapist, your best guide, and it's free once you learn it.
Once you learn how to use it, yes,
Yes,
for sure.
and it's every night. This is how I say there's some kind of justice working with dreams, because we all dream every night. We all are able to remember our dreams, so we have that capacity to maybe dig into it. And about the stress management, it's what I would like to point, that the angle I would use for that day of gestion du stress on the February 17th would be also how your dreams can show your emotional level and where your emotions stand at. Because when you sleep and you dream, your frontal cortex is at sleep, but your emotional center is super active. So all the emotions that have been swept away and not looked at during the day will usually come out at night. And this is what we call nightmares. But they're actually not nightmares. They're indicators of your emotional level about the topic, and that you need to evacuate certain things and do some cleansing and do some organization and look at certain issues that still are charged with such a big emotion. And if not treated, if not dealt with, then of course, this is what can take you to like sickness or illness or like stress or like chronic stress and so on. So this is why working with dreams is also a powerful tool, because it takes into consideration your emotional like reality. The one you're choosing or maybe denying during the day, you have no choice but to look at it at night, especially when you wake up from that nightmare. It like pushes you, it forces you to like have an interaction with it.
I see. Do you have practical tip for people who are interested in joining the practice on the 17th? Something they can do that can serve them already now, or something to prepare for the session when they come to them?
I think they can already start being curious about their dreams and having a little notebook that they can, for example, write on, like the dreams they had, just simply writing them down every morning if possible, or just a few of them. And then they could leave a blank page in front of that page where they wrote down the dream. And on the other side, they leave a blank page that we could use maybe on that day of the workshop. If they want to work on a specific dream that they've already had, they can bring that with them on the same day. And then what I would say is to set the intention, to want to dialogue, to want to start chatting with their inner self and be like, okay, you know what? I'm curious about dreams. I want to open the gate of the dream world and I want to be able to converse. And I'm ready maybe to listen, you know? And then normally when you knock on the door opens for you. That's what it's meant
That's an
to.
intention.
Set an intention, do the work practically with the writing, automatic writing. I would suggest to people to write their dreams in the present tense, not in the past. Like when you're in narrating, you would be like, I am here and I'm doing this and I meet this person and I go there, and not in the past. So they bring it to present tense, and then they can write down their feeling about their dreams in the morning. Just how they woke up from that dream. What's the feeling that was there at the moment they woke up from that dream? And then just being conscious of that feeling is already making that emotion alive again. Emotions, when they're crystallized, blocked somewhere with traumas, this is what sicknesses are. This is what an illness can become. But when you start being conscious of your feeling in the morning, and the dream helped you get that feeling rise, then it's already something that's moving. It's a very healthy habit.
To adopt, yeah. Dreams are a window onto the unconscious mind, and paying attention to them can help reveal certain things that can help us move forward. We're accessing something that we haven't accessed, like being in alignment with what we love doing, or actually letting go of something that we haven't been able to let go of, like unresourceful emotions and feelings from the past, from traumas or from recent events.
There's that mechanism of confrontation, like it confronts you to an image that you did not choose, like meaning that's unconscious, but it's like making you watch a movie, and that movie is resonating and it's touching and it speaks to you, and you're like, okay, so that character in the movie might be a part of me, the part of me that doesn't want to let go, or the part of me that's so attached, or the part of me. So all these things that happen are an opportunity for you to know yourself better and to kind of choose in a more conscious way. All the baby steps, like through your daily life and every day.
I know you have to go soon, so I want to let you go soon as well. And I just want to know the why behind all of this. Like, have you worked a little bit on your purpose?
Dreams at some point not only inspired me to be a better person and to reveal myself, but they've also saved my life. I could have died psychologically a few times, 2 or 3 times, through depressions, through big life events. And dreams really showed me that there was another path. I've had so much information that I could not prove, but that information was so right and so helpful at the time of my life that I felt this big connection. And I was like, this is a superpower, actually. I want to be able to let everyone know that they have a superpower and they could use it, and they could use it in a way that they can be so life-changing, so healing, so opening up to so many dimensions. Remember, like when we met, and I've had a couple of dreams where you were my dreams, and actually everything was just the guidance and helping me, and it just made me gain so much time, actually, and so much clarity. So this is what the power of dreams can do. They can help you move faster.
Have clarity, right, right. So your purpose or mission is to pass on that to others and help others
Yeah, the purpose will
unlock
be,
their potential. Mm.
yes, unlock their potential, have clarity, and have access to all the different beautiful facets of themselves that they don't know of. In French, we say rêver, like to dream, and the word révélation, to reveal, has the same root. It's like living a life that's not totally fully you yet, but it could be extraordinary just by looking into all those weird, absurd, unknown, and opening up so much like bigger, pushing like the horizon a little bit further every day, and just opening up your scope.
Beautiful, Ilham. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. So exciting and interesting and intriguing. Would love to be able to share your profile with people who are listening. Is there something or a place you want to send them over to?
There's my Instagram, of course, called Ilham's Dreams. I couldn't have named it something else. And I just share a little bit of the events I do. I'm more a people person, as I told you. So I don't post a lot of my personal, whatever stuff in my life, but I do post the events I organize. And then on my stories, I share sometimes knowledge on dreams. And yeah, they can have that. And I have a website that's under construction. Working on a new website right now. And it's the website of my company called Insania.com.
Oh, tell us about that a little bit, if you have a moment.
Insania.com. Insania means insan in Arabic means human. Nia means intention. And insania in one word can mean either humanity or humanism. So the idea is I'm one of the most fundamental value in my life, like principle, is being able to contribute to humanity and to live in a society that I feel is humane. In the different works and jobs I do, I try to reconnect the human with its own humanity and not lose those principles. And I think everything that makes a human, from their emotions, their thoughts, their dreams, their body, their relationship, all those topics are important and precious because this is what defines us. And we need to take care of that. So we need to take care of the insania in order to take care of the insan, and vice versa, the insan taking care of it. And it's just the sum of many insans and humans that have those principles and values that can create or like nourish this humanity or humanistic values that can carry us and elevate us, hopefully, and make us live in a better
I am
world.
sure. I am sure. I'm sure they can. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sure we can have a lot of great impact all together, combining all our practices, beautiful practices on the 17th. Rendezvous everyone on the 17th to see Ilham live doing her magic.
Thank you for hosting and doing all this together. It's going to be beautiful.
Thank you. Then I wish you a good rest of the day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.